Hello, Brett in Gonzalez, Louisiana. See more better with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and today I get to cut another new one, a collection I've just added to the website. It is Harley Davidson. This is model number 423 in the gunmetal, size 56. This comes in two sizes and several colors. Now, I am a new Harley Davidson authorized eyewear dealer. I do not have all of them on the website, so anyone watching this video who wants a Harley Davidson, contact me by email, which is in the description, or the phone number, which I will try and get to you too, and I can order any frame that you want. So let me go ahead and begin. It comes with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together during shipping, and I'm going to put that on there while I ship to you. Again, this is model number HD 423, Harley Davidson 423, the gunmetal and the 56 eye size. Of course, great frame, comes with the Harley Davidson logo on the temple as well as the temple tip. That's a nice touch, isn't it? Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to pop out the original demo lenses, one of which says Harley Davidson on there, and of course you're going to receive all the manufacturer's packaging. Oh, I didn't even notice this. Hopefully the camera picks that up. Little Harley Davidson logo on the nose pads. That is a nice touch. See, I'm learning as I go along since this collection is so new to me. But I'm going to put your frame into the tracing element of my blocker, and I'm going to barcode this job, as it's referred to by we in the industry as a job, this job into the computer, so years from now, should you ever need new lenses, I can pull this shape up and cut the lenses for you and mail them to you. And you can just pop them right in, as you'll watch me do in this video, so you don't have to mail the frame back to me. You are Secret Agent 00799. You're the last of the 007s. The next person is going to be 800, 008. So, or as I like to refer it, this is the 799th installment of my 325 million volume series of making a pair of glasses for everyone in America. So make sure you guys tune in for the other 325 million videos. So I'm going to take this barcode scanner, put that into the computer. 799 pops up. I'm going to hit the green arrow, which is start. The little stylus is going to pop up. Everyone wants to know, how does the computer know what shape to cut? And this is why. That stylus is going to go around and trace the inside bevel of the right side of the frame before doing the same thing on the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic Harley Davidson frame and you'll receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or health savings account flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase, whether they are prescription or not. Now, I can do transition lenses if you're non-prescription people, but you like to ride and want to have a Harley Davidson glasses for protection while riding. I can put clear, unbreak. These are these are high index lenses by request, but I can put an unbreakable lens in here. So if you get a pebble to the face while riding or something like that, it will not get in your eye. I can put transition lenses that turn dark when you go outside and then clear at night. So when you're doing a day ride and you find that you end up not getting back in time, they will turn back to clear. Of course, these are the Transitions XTRAactive with Crizal Prevencia, the blue blocking anti-glare. So we're going to come down here to the lensometer. Let's go ahead and program this in here. Your pupillary distance is 67, divided by 2 is 33.5. By the way, that is the shape that we are cutting, only magnified. If you can see, that is the shape. I'm going to magnify it while I'm working on it. So your pupillary distance is 33.5 in each eye. The computer starts at 32.5, so I'm going to tap the plus button a couple times till we get to 33.5. I'm also going to raise the optical center height up because you're going to look through the top quadrant of the lens, so I'm going to raise that up 2 millimeters. Keep tapping the plus button. It started at 16. We're now at 18. So let me mark that on here that we're cutting at 18. The OC height. I'm going to come down here to the lensometer. Get your lenses prepped. Turn your right eye as -2, -1 at 180. I'm going to set the fine tune knob to 180, which is actually the part of 180 will be played by 0 today. Because a straight line from 0 to 90 degrees in the center to 180 is a straight line. So 0 and 180 are the same number. So let's see which lens. I got a 50-50. I'm putting the power drum on -2 for the right eye. Let me zero everything. Let me turn it on. You realize you have to turn equipment on to get it to work right? It's all with that little knob right there. That holds the power, quite literally. So I've got a 50-50 chance that this is the right eye, and I got lucky. So I found the spherical component, the -2 portion of your prescription, and I'm going to check your astigmatism correction, make sure everything is lined up. We're at -3 there, yep, and I'll explain all that in just a little bit. There's a way you can tell if you have astigmatism or will ever have it in your life. If you close your eyes and it's dark, then at some point in your life you're going to need glasses. Oh, come on. Oh, they're dark enough. Let me, hang on. I got to put some more ink in here. Why does this never work when it's supposed to? They never make you proud when you want them to. Drop a little ink on there. Inky, 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 inky. Yes, I am caffeinated. Thank you for asking. So, I'll clean these dots off and we'll start all over again. I'm going to put the lens back in. We're going to first find the spherical component, which has never changed. Check the astigmatism, make sure all that's lined up. And hopefully we can put 3 dots on your lenses. This next lens, we only need 1 dot because your lens is completely spherical. Can you see the 3 dots? And we're going to mark this one as the right lens. We're going to place that onto the platform. Do the same thing in your left eye. Has no astigmatism correction. It's purely -2 1/4 sphere. So put the power drum on -2 1/4. I know from experience the thickest part of the lens is the outside. You have the same power all over in this lens, but your eye is decentered inward, the optical center. The thickest part's always at the edge for a minus lens, so this side is thinner, this side is thicker. So I already know you have the same power all over, but I want to find the optical center quicker, which means if I just shut up, I would find it. So there we go. And then now, really, I only need to put 1 dot on the lens, even though all 3 are there. I'm still going to mark this one L for left. And if you guys missed any of that, let me recap. I tell you, someone called and asked me, do I ever get tired of saying the same bad jokes at the same time in the video? The answer is no. I'm going to keep saying the jokes are not for you, it's for me. I think it's funny that I keep laughing at the same jokes over and over again. So, did I mention I was caffeinated? So this is a block, or as I like to call him, Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting. So I need to apply a double-sided adhesive sticker, of which I've got 2 here. Pull these away, clean up as I go, throw that in the trash, but the black side is the sticky side. So I'm going to stick this one onto the first block, drop that on the platform, do the same thing now for the second one. Now on the back is a little silver button. It's going to do its job twice today. That is actually a magnet, and it's going to attach itself to another magnet there in the arm. It's going to attach itself to something magnetical, which I was told by someone else who said that's not a real word. And I responded, I don't think you're a real person, you're just a troll. So pull that away, make the black side sticky, line up the magnet with something magnetical. And so, are there any English majors out there that can prove my point? And can you see the 3 black dots? The reason I put the dots on there, it tells me that it's oriented in there just perfectly, that it's not askew. With your astigmatism, it has to be lined up just perfectly. So the blue cross is the geometric center of your frame. If you were to measure vertically and horizontally, the blue cross is right in the center. Your eye is above that and inset, so that's why I moved it over, just like the crosshairs of a scope. I measure vertically and horizontally. Get everything lined up in there just perfectly using those dots as a reference point. And hit that button. The arm's going to come down and place the block onto the right lens. We're going to do the same thing now for the left lens. We'll pull the paper away to make the black side sticky, line up the magnet there, put the left lens on there. Now in theory, as I mentioned before, I could rotate this all the way around, but the optical center has been ground into the lens. So I'm going to make sure that black dot is where it's supposed to be. Just want to make sure the lens is configured right, and it is. So I'm going to hit that button, and now the arm's going to come down and place the block onto the left lens. Now this is the edger. This is what does all the work while I run my mouth. It costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out, buy their own, put it on your kitchen counter. Then you can cut your own lenses at home, and you won't need this guy with the 2 thumbs and the bad jokes to cut them for you. So this wheel on the left is a diamond crusted wheel that's going to grind this lens down until it's the final size to fit into the frame. This wheel in the center is going to put, with the channel, that little valley, that's what's going to put the V-shaped bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. So let's go ahead and wake up the computer. All the information that I entered here is now transferred over. You are Secret Agent 799. That is the shape that we'll be cutting. These are not polycarbonate lenses. You upgraded to the high index lenses, so if they were plastic, high index plastic, or Trivex, I would select that, but we're going to stay with high index. Brett is one of the 1 out of 1,000 people who did not like wearing polycarbonate lenses. He said it made things kind of wonky, so we upgraded to the high index. He's never had a problem since. I do not want to polish the edge of your lenses because it's not going to be seen in this frame. I'm not going to put a safety bevel on the front convex surface of the lens. I'm only going to put a safety bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens. So should any portion of this lens protrude from the back of the frame and come into contact with the cheek, it will be nice and smooth. Now, metal frames are thinner. There's more chances of having edge thickness in a metal frame versus a plastic frame. But the other thing about metal frames, that it has nose pads, which creates separation from the frame in your face, where the plastic frame like I'm wearing, and I'll show you in just a moment, does not have any nose pads and sits against the cheek. So, but nonetheless, we're going to make sure it's nice and smooth on the back surface of the lens. I'm going to press that on there firmly. Now the magnet's going to do its job a second time today. It's going to attach itself to another magnet there in the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know this machine well enough to call it chuck. I'm going to hit the green arrow, which is start in every language. The door closes, the clamp shuts. The lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. And you can see as it's going around tracing the shape. And the old carpenter saying it's measuring, measure twice, cut once. It's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point on the diameter, or radius. Sorry, I didn't know there was going to be so much math involved. To see where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. Ooh, a little swarf stuck to the lens. Not anymore. So here's something unique you don't see. Water is spraying onto the lens for the duration of the cutting cycle. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic, high index plastic, and Trivex cut wet, meaning the water sprays onto the lens for the entirety of the cutting cycle. The other unique thing about high index, it stinks. This is one good time. There's no such thing as smell-o-vision. This smell, your lens has sulfur in it. So it literally smells like rotten eggs while it is cutting. Pew! Now you got the Transitions XTRAactive, which get even darker, but you also have the Crizal Prevencia, which is the blue blocking portion of the lens. Crizal is 3 features in one. The first feature is that it reduces glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead fluorescent lights, and the such. The other thing is that it's a reflection-free lens. It goes by the initials ARC, which stands for anti-reflective coating. So when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses, so it makes for much better eye contact. Or if someone takes a picture with a flash, it's not lit up in the lens. Excuse me 1 second, I'm getting a phone. Okay, sorry about that. And the one last thing I wanted to mention about the anti-glare is the third feature, the practical side. It takes over 24 hours to vaporize 8 different coatings onto your lens. So because of the time and the expense, the machine that applies it costs well over $1 million. So due to the time and the expense, they put the industry's hardest scratch coating on top of that to protect your time and investment. So the lens is finished cutting. We're going to take it out of the chuck, the Charles, the Chucky baby. Dry everything off. Make sure there's no optical sawdust on the edge of your lenses. This requires a flathead screwdriver. So let me grab that. We're going to do a little bit of lefty. Actually, just to be safe, let me grab a tray here, so the screw doesn't bounce away. And the other nice thing, and Brett, this is good for you years from now, if you ever change your lenses out, or anyone else watching, get a baking dish or something like this that can contain it. Put a t-shirt, I just have a paper towel. Excuse me while I take my shirt off and put it in, but what it will demonstrate is should the screw come out and bounce, it won't hit a plastic or glass and bounce out of it. It will hit that and be absorbed, and you would be able to find the screw. But I'm going to do a little bit of lefty-loosey. If I'm going to try and do it. And there we go. I keep the frame upside down so the screw is not tempted to come out. I've got my fingers on it now. But keep the frame upside down. Put the lens in. Make sure it kind of fits in there all the way. Using my thumb as a clamp. Trying to use the thumb as a clamp. Pinching down there. I rotate it back around, keeping it upside down. Now we're going to go righty-tighty. Those are all very technical terms. I don't know what they mean. Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. You may have to Google them to get a better explanation. I'm going to come down here. I have a little rubber mat to protect the finish of the frame so it doesn't press against the hardwood of the desktop surface. Finish rotating, and then it's in there tight. Let me just make sure. I want to readjust it just a little bit. Make sure the top is in there well. There we go. Actually, so I know it tightens, I'm going to go ahead and take this block off. It's no longer needed. Go ahead and position the lens in there well, and then tighten it back down. Take the used block, pull the sticker off, dry that off, toss that in there, and put that on my sticker collection there. It's growing, it's growing. Now we can do the same thing now with the left lens. Flip that over to L, press that on there firmly, put it into the magnet, into the Charles, the Chucky baby, the Chuckster. Hit the green arrow, which is starred in every language, just like before. The door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. And as like before, you can see it's just going around tracing the left side of the frame, making sure where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing, of which you have very little in this frame. Metal frames are more prone to that, but we're going to come back down here to the lensometer, and the one dot I need is missing. So let's see if I'm going to put, let's use this ink. We're going to go with red. I like using black, but they sent me some red ink. Put that on there. The axis wheel is still on 180. Put it in, find the optical center. Go ahead and put a dot on there now. So read the power, and I am getting -2, because your prescription -2, -1 at 180. The unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R, going up in quarter increments from there. So you're on the 8th rung of a ladder. You need 8 steps of far-sighted correction. You are nearsighted. With your glasses off, you see everything up close, great. But to see things far away, the images are too large. So that's why there's a minus sign. Your lenses will minify down to the correct size. Now, once everything is the correct size, you have 4 steps of astigmatism correction. Uncorrected astigmatism makes 6s and 8s look alike, or the letters P and F, or it makes it difficult to read street signs at a distance. So this is what makes everything nice and crisp. You have 2 curves on your eye, a spherical component, which is -2, and an astigmatic component, which is -1. It's how you line those 2 curves up to make everything nice and crisp. Think of it as the fine-tune knob, and we're going to turn that fine-tune knob, well, from 0 past 90 to 180, which is the same number. So, and we're on the 180, but we're going to check that second curve, and we've got, let me make sure it's dialed in there perfectly. We're at -3. How did we get there? Remember high school algebra? You add 2 like signs together? Yeah, don't worry, I've forgotten that too. Let's use today's terms. If someone borrowed $2 from you and then they borrowed another $1, they would owe you $3. That's where at $3 in the red. Now your left eye needs 9 steps of correction for farsightedness. And again, this frame, the Harley Davidson 423, sells for $150. I think almost all Harley Davidson frames sell for $150 with 1 free pair of clear single vision lenses. You got the Transitions XTRAactive, which I'll demonstrate later, the Crizal Prevencia. There's a few different Crizal coatings, but this is the blue blocking one. Let's dry the lens off. Let's straighten this back out again. The t-shirt there, something soft cotton. Should the screw happen to fall out, it will land on there safely without bouncing away. Because I can tell you, those replacement kits, the eyeglass repair kits, the only thing in there is worth anything is the screwdriver. The screws are way too large. So tuck the lens in around that edge. Make sure it is in there. And a little bit of righty-tighty. And that is in there good, so we can take this block off, dry that off, throw it back in there, ready for the next one. Put the sticker right there. That dot's still there. Come down here to the lensometer, put it in above that black dot, which is your optical center. Read the power, and I am getting minus 2 1/4. One tick mark away from 2 and in between 2 and 2 1/2, so that is cut perfectly. I couldn't do a better job if I had cut these lenses myself. So your pupillary distance is 67. I'm going to spin the card around. I'm going to place the PD stick against your right lens and my thumb, and when we read it onto the left lens, we're getting 67 millimeters, so that is cut perfectly. Now this is the portion in every video that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned that there's free shipping anywhere in the United States, and Gonzalez, Louisiana is still in the United States. So, but when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That's because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. I do need to adjust this tempo a little bit, and there is no wobble. When I say wobble, of course, I'm wearing my Oakleys today. These, normally I'm part of that 80%. These are almost self-correcting. When I take them off, they don't wobble on the counter, but every other single pair of glasses I own will. But they sit level on me. Again, if you like Harley Davidson, I will be getting more of these on the website. I also am an authorized Oakley dealer. However, I'm not allowed to put Oakleys on the website. So if there's any frame that you want, just holler at me, email, phone me, and I'll get you, tell you the price of everything included. I'm wearing the Oakley, of course I can't see with my glasses off, the 8132. I believe this is called the, what is this called? The cross switch. And of course it comes with different color temples. I have the blue orange to match my local Durham Bulls baseball team, but you can change that up, change the color of your temples that easily. But let me flip this over, press down. There is no wobble. I close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly and that neither temple is askew like that. Check the tension on each spring hinge. That feels good. Now this is what your lenses look like the first time around. Let me get my fingerprints off of them. This is what your lenses look like clear. I'm going to go ahead and activate them. And my little transitions box essentially expose them to a strong burst of ultraviolet light. Now as you can see, it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for transition lenses to darken. It takes a little bit longer when you come back inside, 45 seconds to a minute 15. Now, Brett, pay attention. Everyone else, this is important. All transition lenses will get dark on day one. They're going to continue to darken every day for the first couple weeks that they're exposed to the sun. After that, they will work for years with maximum performance. The only time the Transition Signature 7 lenses don't work is when you're behind the windshield of a car. Your windshield absorbs all the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays that prevent your dashboard from cracking from sitting in the sun all day. So that's why they don't work. Now, if you have a car or a motorcycle, Transition 7 will work. Now, you got the Transitions XTRAactive, so they will get 30 to 50% dark behind the windshield of a car. The other advantage to this is that all transition lenses will get darker when it's 85 and below than they will when it's 95 and above. But I remind everyone, when it's 100 degrees outside, you're miserable, they're miserable. Nobody works 100% when it's 100 degrees outside. Having said that, the Transitions XTRAactive will get darker in hotter weather, which is probably important living there in Gonzalez, Louisiana. I'm sure you get a lot of heat being there in the south. Now, this is the first time they've been activated. Don't worry, they're going to keep getting darker than this. Come on, Brett, we talked about that, don't you remember? So, if you've liked what you've seen, or if not, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can see more videos of newer frames that I add to the collection all the time. If you have any questions, well, I'll tell you what, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook as freeprescriptionlenses.com. On Twitter as freerxlenses. If you have any questions about what Harley Davidsons or Oakleys or any other frame that you want that I can get for you, email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. There is a contact me button on the website, but some people, and I don't know why, are having problems getting through, so email me directly at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Brett and Gonzalez, Louisiana. Hope you enjoyed watching as I cut your high-index prescription, high-index 167 prescription lenses with Transitions XTRAactive for your Harley Davidson 423 and the gunmetal color in the 56 eye size. I'm Seymour Better. Hopefully this is Mo Better, and everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.